go right to the outside because we believe until I fix the outside, the inside's not going to feel good. Until I solve that problem, I'm not going to feel good. So what's the point of looking at the feeling? I got to fix the problem. The feeling will feel better when I fix the problem. So we're very outside oriented. We don't recognize, so as a result, we tend not to really be very much in touch with how I'm doing, which is why you'll be talking to somebody and they look really upset and you'll say, I don't think you're doing very well. I'm doing fine. Let's keep talking. Like, I don't think this is such a good idea. No, I'm great. I'm doing great, right? Because they're so urgently involved in the problem. So we tend to not be very sensitive to that feeling that I'm talking about, that sense of where am I? Where am I living with? We're not looking in that direction. So a lot of people walk around in a pretty bad feeling a lot of the time, not realizing that's a very important thing. That's really the issue. That is the issue. They're thinking the problems are the issue. That's why I'm in a bad feeling. So they're not really connoisseurs of that feeling. And so it's interesting when I work with people, and I work with them in specifics in their life to help them really see this, they'll oftentimes come back and say, I feel worse. And I'll say, the truth is, it's not such a bad problem because you're actually always feeling pretty lousy. You just never noticed it before. It was never in your eyesight. You never looked there, right? And now all of a sudden they're looking. They're asking themselves, how am I doing? And then they realize, I'm not doing very well a lot of time in my life, and it kind of stinks. What's that?
It's like an episode of 24. Tune in next week.
Bottom line, negativity of any kind, I'm suggesting to, and I'm suggesting this is a very Jewish concept. I'm just trying to bring it home to you a little bit. Negativity is a sure sign that you are heading in the wrong direction. What you were looking for in life will never be found in negativity. Okay? And I deal with this with couples. Couples, they get to know each other, and sometimes they get to know some negative things about the other person, and that can be a very big problem for them. And we know each other. We live with each other for 20, 30 years. I mean, it's not like we're making it up. We see some things there that are really maybe less than ideal. So naturally, we feel very vindicated for feeling kind of bad. I mean, I'm not making this one up. There's really an issue over here. And what I explain to couples is, even when you're right, you're wrong. In other words, yes, you found a shortcoming. Perhaps you have. But guess what? If you're negative over a shortcoming, it means you're living in distortion. And this is true for yourself as well. I explain this to people all the time. People live in a lot of negativity oftentimes because they see something in themselves that's a challenge or a shortcoming. Right? We happen to have problems, not except for me. Most of us, are challenged in some way or another. And we can be really judgmental, really harsh on ourselves. And the truth of the matter is, even if you're right, even if you're seeing something about yourself that it's true, you have a shortcoming, if you're in negativity about it, you're living in distortion. You're living in distortion. There's no place for it. If you don't understand this, it's going to be a rough ride. Okay? And a lot of people don't get this. They're very hard on themselves. Very, very hard on themselves. There's no upside to working the problem in negativity. Okay? And that needs to be the guide. That's my point here tonight. Any other questions? Okay, so I apologize for splitting this into two because it's a lot to talk about. But what I do is as I said, it's a very simple thing I'm talking about. I'm just trying to kind of talk around it, and the hope is that you'll see something in all of my words, my confusing words, that actually kind of drops into place for you a little bit, that gives you some direction. So I have broken the talk down into two pieces, sort of the kind of how we get ourselves into trouble, which was tonight. But there is another piece to this, which is, okay, so I'm essentially telling you, stop working the problem. And we're very good at working the problem. I love to work the problem, I mean, because that uses my mind. My mind is my steering wheel. It means I'm in control. I can think about it and analyze it. And so the question is, if I'm stopping working the problem, then what's left? How does that help? How am I gonna, how am I gonna get where I need to go? Okay, I'm not. That's what I'm not doing. But what's sort of left in the equation after that? That's what I want to talk about next week. Yeah.
So with this negativity, the reason it's not going to go anywhere is that because it's the Sahara that's doing all that?
It's because you're reinforcing. It's like reinforcing a bad pattern. It's like you're kind of. It's like if you think about something over and over again negatively, how do you feel?
Terrible.
Right, you feel terrible. So it's like, right? It's a lot of work.
How about if you go to the other extreme and you never think anything bad, everything is wonderful?
Once again, I'm not talking about not seeing truth. I'm talking about not seeing truth. The truth of the matter is, we know. If you really take what we pray about every day and what our Torah tells us very clearly, Hashem created the entire world, right, for our pleasure. We are in the garden. We never left. We just left here. Okay? He said, "Posech hashitachu masbil l'chol chayva." So we say it 3 times a day. He opens up his hands and gives us everything we need. If you are where you are, it's because it's where you're supposed to be. You know exactly what you need in life all the time. Everything you need, you already have. Okay? So that kind of positivity, absolutely wonderful. If you're talking about not recognizing, what's in front of your face, because once again, what I said was, of course I can do things better in life. Of course I make mistakes, right? But that doesn't have to be a negative thing, right? That can be a very high state thing. Has anybody ever owned blowing it to somebody, and it's like owned the fact that you messed up, right, to somebody, and felt really good about it, right? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, it can be a very good feeling, and you're being very honest. You really blew it, right? You can own a shortcoming and say, something. I really just, I'm a little challenged over here, and it's a high state thing. That's your compass. I'm suggesting to you this is a principle. There is no answer in negativity whatsoever.
So I guess the foundation is to be self-aware, and then from there,
But not to be self-aware in the way most people try to be self-aware, which is to analyze themselves and to overthink themselves. Okay? That's the problem. Most people are working overtime. They're working overtime and they're hurting themselves. Okay? I shared a Pirkei Avos when I was here on third meal when I was here, and it's a Pirkei Avos that says, "Im lamadata Torah harbe al tachas l'tov." If you learned a lot of Torah, don't take credit. And I asked the question, why not? Why not? I mean, it doesn't say don't be arrogant. It says don't take credit. Take credit. You learned a lot of Torah. I mean, I would be happy if they said, I did what I was created for. And that's what the Mishnah says, Kilo Kachma Sartu, because you were created to do it. What's the matter with taking credit? My kids did it. I give them credit, right? It's real. It's being realistic. So what I suggested is, the problem with it is while you're taking credit, you're not doing what you're created for. Okay, you're busy analyzing yourself. There's no room in life to analyze yourself. You can analyze what you're involved in. If you're a mountain climber, I said, it might be nice, a better way to climb, a better handhold, a mistake that you want to correct. That's being involved in what you're doing, but you sit there going, am I a good mountain climber or not? I mean, who's got time for this? If I climb lots of mountains? You love climbing, who's going to think about this? You're moving, you're involved in life. You're self-analysis. There's no place for that kind of negative self-analysis. There's no place for it. That's one of the things I'm trying to learn more and more about myself. It's all it does. It's the Yetzer Hara's #1 tool. It demoralizes me. It doesn't. The question I always ask people at the end of the day, it's a very simple question. How's it working out for